Kemetic Science, the Netcher of Atum Explained, and its Christian connection. Atum, the Kemetic Science Basics. For the ancient Africans, these mythological concepts are about explaining the principle of numbers that are the foundation of nature. In other words, mathematical formulas. The mythological story of Atum is the ancient Africans explaining how the universe came about. A lot of people get lost in the story, not understanding that the numbers is really what's being explained in the myth. Underlying the story is numbers as functions of the universe, are the qualities of all there is in the universe. The name of the Netcher is like a recipe. The ancient Africans didn't just think up an arbitrary name. Ancient Kemetic Science, Atum and its characteristics. Atum is the personification of universal law. In other words, the Africans just used human form to express or give you an idea about universal law. He is the creator, self-created by masturbation, and is the principle of numbers, the monad, which is masculine and feminine. In ancient African terms, numbers weren't just numbers, they were actually functions, and those functions had characteristics. So a number like the number 2 would be a feminine number, and the number 3 would be a masculine number. So even numbers were feminine, odd numbers were masculine, and the number 1 was actually both. The beginning and the end. ATM, which is Atum, because in modern times we put the vowels in. The Africans didn't use the vowels. But ATM is expressing what Atum is as a philosophical analysis of the universe and how it began. A means that it has the active and passive principle. In other words, masculine and feminine. There's a later Christian connection that we'll talk about. The constituent elements of all. TM means that the principle contains within it the possibility of anything that could exist in any form. The Christian Alpha and Omega, in other words. So this is the beginning and the end. Within TM is the constituent elements of everything in the universe. Nothing can exist without these elements. Merging the mythology with modern science. So as a characteristic, Atum is the instant of desire to exist, create, or manifest in the universe. So it's actually, Atum is like a flash, okay? So Atum in the pantheon here as a function is just that instant when something said, I want to exist, basically. For the ancient Africans, Atum is a theoretical abstract principle. So it's not something concrete, it's just an idea. Merging mythology with modern science continued. Atum is theorizing what components existed the instant before the Big Bang occurred, or what we call the Big Bang in modern times. So the ancient Africans are basically saying, hey, what happened with the universe, or what was in the universe before the Big Bang? That's what they're theorizing when they're talking about Atum. Atum is a theoretical analysis of what came out of the noon. So just real quick, just go over some of the symbolism of Atum as a netter. Again, it was the personification of universal laws. So notice on Atum's head, it's covered. So usually the skull cap is not visible. And this is the ancients basically saying that a mathematical law doesn't think. It doesn't have favorites or anything like that, like we've been taught in Christianity. So the staff that's in Atum's hand is representative of the vivifying sap that basically animates anything in the universe, okay? Of course, the Ankh, Just means that there's something conscious in this, but it's not physical yet. The front part of the netter in this drawing symbolizes the masculine. And when you see a tail on any of the netters, then that means that they have a feminine aspect as well. And the left foot forward just symbolizes that it's ever coming. So it's something that's perpetual. So what happened before the Big Bang? The ancient Africans had a metaphysical principle of the seed and a receptor in order to create anything. In other words, there has to be a seed like semen, and there has to be something that would receive the seed that it would actually grow and create something or become something. Atum created itself and had to be both seed producer and receptor. That's why it was masculine and feminine. So Atum created desire within itself. And what desire symbolizes is actually the element of fire. So when you talk about in the ancient elements, fire is the first cause of everything that's in the universe. In other words, something or someone had to desire something or have a fire burning within them that they wanted something created or wanted something manifested. So that's what desire, in this case, Atum creating desire within himself meant that he had a desire or a fire to create. Again, that's the element of fire as the cause of everything. Atum self-pleasured. The hand is metaphorically the feminine principle. The ancient Africans called this feminine principle Yeuseus, or the Great Mother. From the Great Mother came Yeu, the Su, or Yeusa, the child. The child is the abstract seed of potential for anything in the universe to exist or to perpetuate. So we have an abstract trinity here of Atum, Yeuseus, and Yeusa. Yeusa as a child, as the principle of nature, is the potential for anything in the universe to perpetuate itself. Yeusa became known as the ever-coming Son of God. The principle is a masculine child because creating is an active principle. Basic Kemetic spiritual science philosophical principles. Because Atum is principally everything that could possibly exist, it is known as the Alpha and the Omega, or the beginning and the end. The moment of the Big Bang, unity or oneness was negated or ended. The universe is opened or split, and duality is the natural state of existence at that point. At that moment of opening, the principles Ra and Ptah are born. Spirit and matter, with the daughter of Ra, Ma'at, or consciousness, also coming into existence at that time. At the same time, from Atum, the Grand Ennead, or the Nine, are born. That's Atum, Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Osiris, Isis, Nephthys, and Seth. They're all principles of the metaphysical world that our physical world is birthed from. According to the ancient Africans, anything that is created from this unified state of existence is infused with the will to return or be resurrected back into oneness and start the cycle all over again, wiser than before because of experience that has been assimilated. So Christianity represented the idea of masculine and feminine aspects of Atum as Adam and Eve. And by the way, Yeusa, the principle of something being perpetually renewed, is linguistically the root of the cognates Yeuseus, which is Greek, Yeshua, which is Hebrew, and Jesus, which is English. So in other words, Yeusa is where the name Jesus came from. So this is the end of Kemetic Science of the Netcher of Atum Explained. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video. You may visit my website for my blog e-courses, and a forum at www.kemeticcenteredliving.com.